Good day. Welcome to Back to Basics, Lesson 1. In this lesson, I will try and explain to you the basics of algebra. Grade 9. We want to answer the question, why is there letters in our sums? Why do we have to use letters in where they're supposed to be numbers? And to answer that question, we have a look at this scenario where we have boxes, let's say, and we don't know what is in each box. We need to figure that one out. However, we don't know what is in each box and how much in total is there. So we want to work as quickly as possible. We don't want to get distracted with long words. And so instead of using words, we are using letters. We don't know how much is in each box. We don't know the total. So instead of working with unknown, this whole word, plus or minus or divide, unknown, we don't want to write this long word. We are too much in a rush to get to the answer. It takes too long. So instead of writing the whole entire word, we use the letters A to Z. So in this scenario, we have X, 4. How much is in each box? Okay. As well as Y, which is what is the amount together in each box. So we get to the algebra question. We want a basic algebra sum. What would be a basic sum? So instead of having to write the entire word unknown, we replace it with a letter. In this case, in this scenario, as you can see, each box, what is in each box, we name X. What is total of the boxes together, we have Y. Now, how are we going to do a sum? We don't even have a number. We do. Our number is 4. Because if you see this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. So we have one number. How on earth are we going to make this one number into a sum? That's where our letters comes in. We have 4 boxes. Sorry for that. 4 boxes. And we want to know each box. That is the unknown. Unknown, each box. Okay, so we say 4 boxes times unknown, which we named X, equals Y, which is the total. The total of how many is there in each together in each box. And that is Y. Now, that is how we would find a basic algebraic expression. So, if we have a look, we can write it another way. We can write 4x because of the fact that we are in a rush and in a hurry to get to our answer. We want to avoid writing as much as we can. That's why we leave the entire word unknown out and use letters. And another way is we leave that times out so that we have to save some time. It is still there, but no one is going to tell you that anymore. You are grade 9 now, and from now on, no one is going to say there's a times in between your 4 or your number and your unknown. You just have to know that. You have to remember that. So we can write it like this. 4x equals y. So we can also write it other way around. Other way around is going to be exactly the same as this one, because it is the same as writing 4 times 2 equals 8, or 2 times 4 equals 8. That's exactly the same answer, and it is basic times table. If we don't know our times table, we're going to have to go back to that, but by grade 9 you're supposed to know your times table. We know that writing it like this or like this is going to give us the same answer. That is why we can write this way, or we can write y equals 4 times, remember there's still a times in between there, x. Now that we have a basic algebraic expression, this is how we write it. Any scenario, they will give you one number, at least one number to work with. You just have to figure out where's that number. Sometimes they give it to you plain and simple, or you're going to have to just go and count, just like we did with the boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is your answer for the first question, basic algebraic expression or basic sum. Now we're going to take this and we're going to go to the next phase. Now let's say they want you to find y. If x equals 3, now we have another number for our sum. So, what are we going to do with that? We're going to find y. So, it's a basic thing. We just replace x with an amount that they gave us. X is 3. So, our expression is 4x equals y. So, now we're going to replace x with 3. Now the reason why we put it in brackets is because we have to remember there's still a times in between there. So it is 4 times 3 equals y. Y we don't have. We're still trying to figure out y. They want us to find the answer for y. So a basic times table is 4 times 3, and it is 12. So we know that y equals 12. Or you can write it y equals 12, or you could write it 12 equals y. It is exactly the same as your times tables. You just have to remember, doesn't matter which side of the equal sign it is still going to be the same answer. Now, let's say we don't have x. Let's go back to another scenario, another question that they could ask you. We don't have x. We don't know the answer for x, but we have y. Now, anyone can figure that one out out of their head if they know the times table, but in this scenario, we have to implement it because it's algebra. So, now we're going to take 4. Remember, there's a times in between. X equals 40. We replaced the y with 40. Now, how are we going to figure that one out? Because now x has, we don't know x. Now, a rule that we have to remember, and this one we have to remember forever for algebra. Our unknown doesn't matter. A to Z doesn't matter what letter unknown it is. We have to get it on its own, on the equal sign, just like we did with our y. Our y was standing on its own, but here it's not standing on its own, the x. Remember, x is just how much is in each crate. So, what now another rule is what you do on the one side of the equal sign you have to do on the other side. So we know there's a times in between the x and the 4. So we're going to do the opposite. We're going to cancel it out. We're going to take the 4 and we're going to divide by 4 so that they can cancel each other out. Because remember, it's 4 times x. Now you do the opposite. You're going to take 4, or the number you have in front of your unknown. You're going to do the opposite to it. Divide by 4. Now they've cancelled each other out. Now it's the 0. We don't ever write the 0. Equals, but now remember what you do on the one side, you have to do on the other side. So we say 40 divide by the 4 that you just did on this side. So basic maths again. We are taking 40 divided by 4, which equals to 10. Now remember, these two have cancelled each other out. And that is 0. We don't write the 0. But remember, x is still there. You don't leave it out. So x stands on its own now. That's the rule. It has to stand on its own. Equals 40 divided by 4, 10. There you go. Now you have worked out what is x and what is y. Now remember, you can write x the other way around as well. Or 10 equals x. It's exactly the same as your times table. It doesn't matter which side of the equal sign it is, it's still the same answer. Just remember that, because sometimes it does confuse a person. All of a sudden the x is on the other side, but the whole reason why our x is on this side is because our unknown shouldn't really be moved. We are trying to move just the numbers that we do have, and we are cancelling them out by doing the opposite. What we do on the one side of the equal sign has to be done on the other side. So that would be it for this lesson. Please subscribe to find more back to basic algebra sums and explanations. Thank you very much.